Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pixel Partners here, and we are joined by a special guest once again from Project Eden's Garden. We are joined by Grace, also known as Lumisau. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it is wonderful to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and chat with us and all of your friends in the pool as well.
Yeah.
It's all good. Happy to be here.
Grace
Perfect.
Mallards.
It's a wonderful name.
I
You've
love
done
it.
good. Everyone will be proud.
Continuing the tradition of the puns.
I had a little bit of trouble thinking of it, but then it just came to me.
It's perfect.
Destiny.
So, to begin, let's go ahead and start with a classic question. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you got involved into Project Eden's Garden.
Yeah.
So I've been in the Fangan voice acting area for quite a while. I'm in Super Danganronpa. Come on, mouth work. SDRA 2
Yeah,
as
there you go.
Yuki.
Gotcha.
I'm in Heartless Deceit as Ko. I'm in Brave Danganronpa Coward's Paradise as Yukio. So I've always kind of seen it in my periphery. I thought it looked really good, but none of the characters really stood out to me because I voice a lot of young male characters.
Gotcha.
As you can see from, Yuki, Ko, Yukio.
Yeah.
But eventually the casting call went up and I just had a look because I find it fun to look at Fangan casting calls. And I saw that Grace was mentioned in the description that she could have an Australian accent when pissed off. So I was like, oh, I am not letting bad accents come in. I have a seething hatred for bad Australian accents. Only if they're saying it's an authentic one or it's good. If people are just having fun when voice acting over her, I don't care.
Yeah.
Have fun. But when it's a serious thing, I'm not letting this go without me giving it a shot. Even though she's totally not my sort of character. I've done, hostile female characters, but she is very feminine in presentation.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what, just YOLO it. Why not? At the very least, I can be snooty if they pick somebody with a bad accent. And I didn't know that one of the directors, now directors, is Australian as well. But yeah, so I auditioned. I hung around in the Discord server giving some advice to other voice actors. And yeah, just eventually we got the all right, auditions are closed, and everyone was on edge. And it wasn't until it would have been 2 weeks after it closed that I got the call back, and I was like, oh, cool, hell yeah.
Dang.
And then it took me I think I got the call back in really quickly afterwards. And then it was another 2 weeks of not anxiety. I try and do the send and forget, but it was a cool looking project.
Yeah.
But no, eventually got it. They just loved how much emotion I was able to get in. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the last one cast.
Oh.
So when I got into the VA chat room, everyone was already talking to each other and, saw a few familiar faces.
Nice.
And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. It's very interesting. So I wasn't quite there, but then I saw the Australian part and it's I have to make sure this is done correctly.
Yep.
That is so wonderful.
A personal quest.
Exactly. And it's turned out fantastically since.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun being able to just drop the accent entirely at points and just go
Just
full
let
ham.
loose. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that it kind of varies based
Yeah.
off of the emotions
Fluctuates.
being felt. And it makes sense with the casting call now. It's when angry, the Australian really
Yeah.
pulls through. I like the little touch on it of that.
Yeah, some people find it a little bit funny, and I get that. But that was how I was kind of approaching it. the more agitated, the more Australian.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is.
So, having become a part of this large project, I guess did you realize how big it was going to get when you signed up for it, or at any point did you realize how massive the community behind it was
It's
going
huge.
to get?
I already knew that the trailer had like 1 million views by that point. So I was like, oh, that is pretty impressive. But I've seen some other Fangin stuff get a bunch of views initially, and then it just really tapers off quickly. But the response to Chapter 1 has been absolutely insane.
Yes.
The prologue had a really good response, but it felt kind of within what I expected. But now that Chapter 1 is out, it is blown the hell up.
It has.
And
Yeah.
like, I've gotten probably like 200 followers on Twitter from it alone,
Dang.
Oh my gosh.
which isn't huge amount, but you know, that's a pretty big percentage of my followers.
Yeah. And especially for, like, it's like a massive cast of 16 people, not like a small project that you're part of, where it's like you're one of 3 voices on a project, but for something that's so massive and to still gain as many followers as that, it's just like, goodness. Ooh-wee. And since joining, how many, I'm sorry, I lost my train, my brain fried for a moment here. Hold on, I need to hit a reset button. Here we go.
Oh, good happens to the best of us.
Perfect.
Rewind.
Since joining in on this, what are some of the ways that it has like positively impacted or changed or altered your life since doing it and starting it?
I mean, I can go with the cliche answer everyone's given. Like, meeting the cast and the developers has been fantastic. I would say that because I've been around whole voice acting stuff for a long time, the general impact wouldn't be as strong as it's been for some of the others. But no, just being able to chat with all these really cool and talented people, and seeing the level of passion that this fan project has inspired, it's been astonishing, and like, it really makes me feel like, yeah, there are just such amazing people in this world who do what they want to do.
Yeah. Like every person in here, you can feel every ounce of passion that they have for creating this project and making it the best it can be. And it certainly shows with the response and how much it connects to, the audience that has grown around it as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a non-for-profit project. We don't make anything out of this, but regardless of that, just having this much passion and how quickly it's all come out too, because I know you've got your kids out there like, I don't want to wait another year or 2 years. It's like, that's so fast for this sort of thing, though.
Yeah, for such a small team that is putting in an extreme amount of work to try and make it as good as it can be, which shows in the quality there. That takes time,
amazing.
and the team is not a very large team. It's a pretty small team that's trying to make these dreams come true. So yeah, it takes a while, and it's still impressive given the amount of time of what everyone can accomplish.
Yeah, because there's stuff like that takes like years and years and years, and then it's just like, this is actually really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Undertale Yellow, for example. That's an amazing fan game. It's fantastic, but it took like 7 years to come out. It's a bit longer than Undertale itself, but yeah, just compared to that, for a 3D game too, just coming out lightning fast.
Yeah, I remember when they finally announced Undertale Yellow, and I haven't played the full thing yet, but I remember when the demo for it came out, and that was, like you said, it was so long ago that it's just had a massive production cycle and took forever to come out. So to see something, from inception to moving through the Republic and everything, it is moving at quite a speed, and will probably increase a little bit since, they spent some time reworking the engine and rebuilding like the dorm rooms and everything. But it'll be interesting to see, how long it takes for things moving forward.
And I'm a patient person.
It was like, with that, good things come to those who wait.
Exactly. Good things come to those who wait. You don't want to get rushed.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
You don't want a rushed finished product.
Yeah, you want to let the passion flow as easily and as smoothly as it can, and it will pay off immensely.
As it has.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now then, we'll move on to the portion where I go ahead and ask you a few questions about Grace and a few little fun fact type stuff, if you are ready for that.
I think so.
Awesome. So I start with the classic
The
icebreaker.
go-to first question.
What is your let me go. What would Grace's favorite pizza topping be?
Yes.
So she probably doesn't eat that much pizza, being an athlete.
Fair.
Having to watch the caloric intake and everything. But I get the vibe she's the sort of person who has a generally plain pizza but has one really strong flavored topping. Something like olives, maybe anchovies. Something that, cuts through the flavor. And might be a little overwhelming to some people, but
Totally.
if you like it, you like it.
That checks.
Exactly. And, Grace is known for her ultimate talent, but what would you say would be possibly a lesser known hidden talent of hers?
So because she's the type to get really angry and get into fights, I think she's actually pretty skilled at things like first aid.
Oh.
Being able to dress wounds, deal with black eyes, all kinds of bruises. Doesn't get too grossed out by blood that much within, a generally safe context.
Yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't shy away if she or a rare friend cut open their knee, for instance. She'd be able to dress that, deal with that, make sure it doesn't get infected or anything.
Right.
I can see that. Yeah.
Totally.
I can see that.
Oh, man. And what would you say would be Grace's dream vacation? It's the off season,
Well,
gets to relax.
Yeah. Well, she hates that. Is the thing. She is not a vacation person.
No downtime.
She wants to be focused. She wants to keep working. So rather than her dream vacation, I will say a vacation she needs. She needs to disconnect and go touch grass.
That's not
probably-
the course.
Somewhere generally nice and quiet where she can disconnect even if she doesn't want to. So I don't know, somewhere in the UK or New Zealand.
Right, nice.
Still people she can get into arguments with, but they'd be able to take it.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my gosh. And let's say, obviously, ultimate, a total pro, but for some reason, that career didn't work out. Just came crumbling down. What would Grace's backup career be?
Well, she doesn't want to think about that.
I was going to say, yeah.
If she learned to stop being so antagonistic to other people, I reckon she'd be a pretty good real estate agent.
Oh, man.
Because she's really forceful, able to cut through the crap. And, if she got a little bit nicer, she might even be able to be the sort of person who gets landlords to actually do things for their tenants.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
We've been there.
Oh, gosh. I don't know why for a split second my brain picture was like, imagine Grace, the therapist.
Well, a little bit of tough love does a person good.
It would be a hell of a time.
Just do better. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Ugh. And then one final question. What sport would Grace absolutely despise?
So I thought it'd be funny if she was pissy about sports that are kind of similar in concept but aren't the same to golf. So like things like billiards or polo, whacking balls with things, but with, you know, different coordination and like ultimate goals. But
Yeah.
in honesty, I think it would be cricket because it is so dull of a sport. Sure, you hit the ball hard if you need to, but it's not like baseball where that's part of the goal. There's a lot more really boring strategy to cricket, and it takes forever.
It does
not
take
much
forever.
Gets
Oh my
done.
god.
You're just standing around in the sun. Nothing happens, and I don't think she'd have the patience for that.
God, yeah. Just imagine her watching it on TV. What the fuck is this?
Change it to the AFL. God.
I wonder what do you think her thought on like putt would be? Would she find it insulting?
I don't think she'd find it insulting because she would have a hell of a time showing people up.
That's true.
Absolutely. And especially those courses
Like-
that are just mean and brutal and create the most
Convoluted,
awful obstacle
yeah.
courses on the way to the hole.
Yeah.
Just like, watch
Like
this.
she'd be a little annoyed about some of those obstacles, but not all of them are too difficult to deal with when you're at that high of a level.
That's true.
Yeah, just puts everyone in their place. Watch this.
Just
Think-
hole in one on every single.
Yeah.
Even the one that you shouldn't be able to get a hole in one on, she gets it.
Exactly.
Yeah, just ricochets off something that really shouldn't bounce well.
Yeah.
Just like some rock and it's like trick shots, everything.
Oh my god, Happy Gilmore style. Oh man. All right, I believe that is it for the Grace-related questions. So now we can move into the interesting part, the meat and potatoes of sorts, if you will, in this one. So I'm gonna put here, as usual, the spoiler wall.
Yep.
For anyone watching, from this point on, we'll be talking about the story of Project Eden's Garden up through Chapter 1.
Yep.
If you have not played the game for yourself, watch up to this point. This is your final warning to please
Pause.
get it away now.
Pause the
We're not
video.
liable for what happens next. And now,
Do it. It's good.
Yeah.
you should probably do it, please.
Go play
If
it.
somehow you haven't at this point, fucking go.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we're safe.
Yep. They should be gone.
Whew, so Chapter 1, what a wild ride that was.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
So what were your initial reactions once you discovered who were going to be your classmates that were going to be leaving in this chapter?
R.I.P.
So I had on the script, you know, I think Snow talked about this, but it had a big context thing, and immediately it was, oh no, Wolfgang's dead. I was like, oh no.
It's like,
Grace is
oh,
very
no.
upset. Wait, because they were bunking together. Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah, that I gotta say that. No, that was aside from Wolfgang being the victim. I wasn't expecting those two to get together. Like that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it never.
was a bit,
Yeah,
it was a bit of a popular pairing, and like it had started before the prologue from a couple of people who were like, they would look pretty good together, and then from the prologue it became a little bit more popular because of the back and forth they kind of had.
yeah.
So, like, I wasn't surprised, but the fact it was explicit
Yeah.
was a bit more surprising.
Yes.
It's like, interesting.
Without words, but still, if you look around enough, the hints are
the
there.
evidence.
The clothes
Yeah.
literally strewn about the room.
Yep.
I was like,
Some of
whoa.
some of the things that were said.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
oh my gosh, like I think I missed it the first time, but
Yeah.
the cunning linguist joke line
Yeah.
that was in there.
Like,
I was like, wait, hold on.
are you really saying that?
Oh my gosh. Oh, and that made so much of the internet happy.
Oh, it did.
Even though it got ripped away from them pretty quickly.
Yeah, like, dude.
It did, but that's how Danganronpa shipping tends to be.
It's like,
That
here's
is
your
fair.
ship, but
Yeah, it'll never last long.
Yeah.
the pain.
Oh man.
The pain.
But yeah, that was wild for such a large character also to end up being the first one on the chopping block. And
Yeah,
then
I was a little bit worried almost just because, is the fan base going to be okay with this?
yes. I know exactly what you mean on that.
Because he was a big favorite.
And like I was always from the get-go terrified of like it must be difficult, especially in a fan project like this, because sometimes in, you know, the original games there are people that reacted adversely when their characters ended up being, you know, the ones on the chopping block.
Yeah.
And like with it being an ongoing thing, like how many people would be like upset about certain decisions, but from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen like negativity towards any decisions like that at all.
Yeah.
Not that I've noticed.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some hiding somewhere, but I feel like the fans drown them out enough to where it's like, yes.
Yeah, like I've seen a little bit of, they had so much more potential, that sort of thing. And it's like, that is true, but so does everyone else.
Yeah.
And I also think that just because, you know, a character like Wolfgang is, you know, out of the picture, doesn't mean it's not going to come back later on in the series and bite, because there's a massive mystery still sitting there about him.
Absolutely.
That, like, you know, it's just like, just because he's gone, oh, we still got this hook sitting here waiting for a fish to
Like,
come grab it.
What the hell was that, dude? What was that?
So, like, you know, everyone you just wait. There's going to be a lot more, I feel like, from that. And then another major character of Eva being the culprit and now out of the picture was unexpected as well.
Yep. Again, I just kind of had the, people could be okay with that.
Yeah.
Sort of
Yeah.
reaction. Just both of them just being so big. I was worried it just might come off as shock value, but no, the way it all played out, it was really interesting and it felt fulfilling.
Yes.
Narratively.
Yeah, there's never any point where it felt like, oh, they did this just to, you know, like prove a point
For
or
shock
to make a
value.
shock, you know.
Yeah.
It all had weight and meaning. Like I said, it's not as if, you know, they just cut the mystery of Wolfgang down and it's like, oh, that was all just, you know, bait of sorts. It's out of the picture just so you wouldn't expect it even more. And then, you know, giving Ava tons of stuff in there to continue and add value and meaning as to why she's making certain actions, you know. It was great.
Yeah, I love that, because, like, Ava, she was, like, you know, the assistant character that you think's gonna be around for a long time. And you got Wolfgang, who you think's, like, you know, the rival character that you think's gonna be around for a long time, and then both of them died.
Nope.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, no one's safe.
Nope.
And I love that
But
they
I
did
also-
that.
Yeah. What I think does help it as well is they have built up replacements, so to say.
Yes.
So you've got, you know, Kai as the obvious
the
assistant
sidekick now.
character.
Yeah, the new
and then possibly Diana as the rival.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is
So
interesting.
yeah, because of that, I feel like it makes the cast feel like there's less of a void where they were.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that there are some people that, like, you know, we've talked about, you know, Grace taking up or not Grace, my brain's breaking, of,
Focused on-
because I was
she's
looking
right
at the
there,
duck, so the name's
duck.
right there.
Yeah.
But of Diana kind of filling up that, you know, rival role. They're like, no, because she's like a protagonist and positive. That's not a rival. It's like, but Damon is, you know,
Yeah, that's
the reverse
the
of what
point.
your typical
To
protagonist.
Damon, she is.
Where it's like, you know, this is still kind of the rival. You know, he's looking on of like, you know, even though no one kind of quite bit onto Diana's monologue there, everyone just kind of was like, whatever. But she does seem like she's going to try and take that sort of leadership role, and obviously at the end, Damon did not like that very much.
No.
Nope.
And I think
wanted to grip him by the shoulders.
Yeah. But it does make me interested because obviously there's already been the dynamic of, Damon being a bit of that, little bit of a prick sometimes.
Yeah.
And seeing how that dynamic plays out of him being, not the nicest protagonist around these parts.
Not
and
a
the other
goody
people he
two-shoes.
doesn't like are going to be the nice people. Your Dianas who are sweet little beings.
Exactly.
And he's going to be like, I hate your guts. It's an interesting change on a protagonist for these stories.
It makes it feel so real.
It makes it feel fresh too. That's not just a rehash of your typical protagonists from, the main series games. So, have someone that is that antsy character.
Yeah. Getting into their mind and seeing why they're behaving like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's such a fresh twist that makes me so excited to see what's going forward.
Because it's so different. In like a really good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something I'm surprised I haven't asked anyone yet, but it's come across my mind here. So I'll go ahead and share it with you because obviously, no character is safe. What would be your emotions that you would go through if/when the day comes that Grace finds herself on the chopping block?
No, it's an if. There's no when, Evan. It's an if.
I know.
She's one of my favorites ever.
I know.
Well, in the prologue where she gets shot at.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Dude, I got so
I
scared.
was actually a little bit worried because I had no, I didn't know what was going to happen after that. I just had the CG and doing those lines, and I knew she was obviously going to get, punished in a way, but I didn't know how exactly. And I was really nervous when I was playing.
Yeah.
But now that I've gotten to do some really fun performances as her, I'll be a little sad, but that's just how it be in Danganronpa, baby.
Yeah. God, I remember because back when the prologue came out, I don't know if it was for you, but Grace was my favorite character at that point. So when that happened, I was freaking out like, no, don't do this to me.
She was really up there for me, and I'm just like, okay, thank God it was just a warning shot.
Yes.
Because we got so attached, and then if she were to die in the prologue, I was going to throw hands. I was going to commit war crimes.
Yeah, but like you said, even just in chapter 1, you've gotten to do so much that had to have been so much fun already.
Yeah.
Grace was going off in the trial.
Oh yeah.
Were there any favorite lines of yours that from that recording session or from this chapter? Anything that you just like, I loved that. I love doing that.
The entire rebuttal showdown was just a complete blast.
Yeah.
I can
Because there's kind of a flippancy to it as well, because she still kind of thinks they're all kind of idiots.
Yes.
So she's just like, she could just lock the fucking door.
Yeah.
Like, so there's just hostility, but flippancy that was just a lot of fun to do.
Yeah. I loved the power of that just straight up
The shut the
fuck you, or was
it was shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the
Yeah.
fuck. I loved that. I was like, oh, okay.
When that popped up, we were like, oh,
I was like, whatever you say, yes, I am listening.
spicy.
I will not disobey whatever you say.
Shutting up immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
like-
gosh.
And just getting to go at full power, because when I was getting live directed, I went a bit too hard at a lot of points initially, because you don't want to be going at a 10 all the time.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that makes the really intense parts less powerful.
Yeah.
But getting to hit the 10 properly, now that's what I was waiting for.
Yeah. Oh man, it paid off so well. Some of my favorite parts of that trial was, seeing Grace's emotion and understanding,
Just
how
full throttle.
kind of, I guess in a way, like, even if she didn't realize that, I guess kind of being fragile by being that overly emotional aspect of it.
Yeah.
Of just like, not even taking the time to think twice about what anyone is saying. As you said, they're all idiots. Any of this that I take as that's it. You all are
Nobody
stupid.
knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Like we go one line, we found the truth. We don't need to go any farther. Shut up.
She was out for blood.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Like a shark in the water.
She just wanted a scapegoat. She didn't really want the killer. She just wanted somebody to be hurt like she was.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna cry again.
No.
Oh man. And then the execution that was at the end of all that.
Oh man.
Oh, God. It was a little bit crunchy on my screen, unfortunately, but it just kept going and going, and
Yeah.
there was just so much pain that you don't really see in the official executions.
Yeah.
Like when she falls onto the protractor set square, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so visceral, so real.
Yeah.
And then, she gets thrown into a furnace, which is not terribly real, but
yeah.
you need a little bit of how would I put it?
Theatrics.
A little bit of theatrics.
Yeah.
Some theatrics,
I
some
mean, after all,
extravagance.
It is
Tozu's the one who did it.
I was gonna
Exactly.
say it is Tozu.
It is Tozu after all, the fucking mad lad.
Can't really think of anything
Yeah.
more dramatic than fire.
Exactly.
I say as two ducks are on fire.
Just surrounded by fire. Watch out, you're
Oh my
next.
god!
No.
Oh, she
Oh, no.
is. No.
It's okay. We're getting out of here.
Running away.
She's like, bye.
If it sucks, hit the bricks.
Yup. God, yeah, it was so incredibly well done.
It was brutal.
Yeah, I was always looking forward to see, like, how are they going to go for the execution? What level of, visceralness are they going for? How close are they going to the original style? And it was just done so beautifully and perfectly. It was just impressive.
It felt official, but like,
Yeah.
just, it was so good.
Yeah.
Like, there's been some really good executions in other fangans, but this one's going to stick with people for a long time, I reckon.
Yeah. And it's only the first.
Especially the play
It's
on
only the
words.
first.
The play on words with the mathlete thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Oh,
That didn't
man.
click for me at first, but when somebody pointed it out, I was like, oh.
Uh-huh.
You're just rubbing salt in the wound.
For real, though. Like, dang. Jean, how dare you?
Sean attacking people.
The pufferfish duck just blew up and grazed.
Oh, man.
This better not be foreshadowing.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Thankfully, he's just been attacking everyone since he popped up.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah, it's just his nature. Just back off.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But if it happens, you didn't see it here first.
No, you did see it here.
You did see it here. Remember
The
it.
future is predicted in this duck pool, apparently.
Exactly. This is the most important alternate universe of the Eden's Garden timeline. The Duckiverse. Oh, speaking of executions, let's say that unfortunately one did happen at some point. What would you see as, like, Grace's insane execution being?
That's a hard one. Like, I've seen people suggest, something like Leon's, but it's like, no, that's too boring.
Too
that's
predictable at this
easy.
point.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. Because of the way that Eva's was done, it would have to play on her insecurities and, gosh. I know what I could probably think about, but unfortunately that might be a little bit spoilery.
Of course, no, you don't have to say anything that would,
Yeah.
Yeah.
reveal. That's always something I'd say is that don't worry about sharing anything that may be, behind the scenes too far that, just kind of keep it
Yeah.
as is. That's why, we're asking fun questions like, what would be your favorite pizza topping instead of going into nitty gritty
Yeah.
stuff. Because
Yeah,
don't want to, there's so much information still to get spilled out
Little
through
do
all
you
this
know,
stuff.
favorite pizza topping was used in a murder.
just fucking start sweating fiercely. Pizza,
It
right,
was anchovies.
They choked on anchovies.
Wait a
Who
second.
would like anchovies?
Oh.
Oh man.
Fish bones. Oh no.
Speaking of, there's a pizza duck.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? Wait.
Look.
Oh my god.
What is happening
like
with
wearing it as a cape.
What is happening with this duck pool?
Oh my god.
It hears us. This is terrifying.
Sean, stop bullying people.
He keeps puffing.
Oh man.
My gosh.
Do you have any like fun or funny or strange behind the scenes stories that you can share?
That you can share.
Through your journey in the development of like chapter 1 of the prologue, and if they happen in like either, you know, voice recording session or, you know, just from the devs talking, or any weird little fun stories and anecdotes from your time?
Well, I straight up injured myself when I was recording.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Because I was going so hard, I pulled something in my neck and I didn't realize it until the next day.
Ooh.
So I had like this killer headache, and I was like, I was probably just, you know, not getting enough oxygen or something like that, but it kept going, and I was like, oh, I probably actually hurt myself.
Oh no.
Oops.
So I ended up getting a massage, and that did fix it, but that,
Yikes.
I've hurt my throat before, but I haven't hurt my shoulder and neck by voice acting
Like
before.
actually
So,
pulling a
Oh my
muscle.
god. That is dedication of the craft right
I was
there.
gonna say, yeah.
Oh
No
man.
one can say you didn't put effort in. My
Yeah,
God.
to get so intense,
Exactly.
it's like, oh,
yeah.
just all of a sudden get a sudden knot in your neck, and it's like,
It's
oh
like, wait a
god,
second.
wait,
That's a thing. That's
Yep.
oh, that's incredible. But I love
unfortunate,
that.
but incredible.
And, and of course, I could see that happening to Grace. Getting so angry, yelling at someone, she pulls a muscle, like that ends a free time event when she's just fucking yelling at Damon. It's like, you made me pull a fucking neck muscle.
Just not allowed to do any more free time events for the rest of the chapter.
Yeah. Goes and hides behind a door again.
Again.
Oh my gosh. I'm so ready for it, because I'm trying to think, were there any available free time events, or was she always hiding away?
Nope, she was always hiding away.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of the others only had 2 available rather than 4, like most of them.
Yeah.
But Grace was the only one with none available.
Yeah, I remember, because I'm pretty sure I popped up like 3 times. I was like, please,
Yeah,
let me
one
in.
of the first people were like, let's hang out with Grace. And we're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Why are you hiding from me?
I was like, I get it, but why?
We want to know you.
She's like, no.
Oh, man.
Denied.
Oh, just incredible.
We're too dumb. That's why.
It'll happen
help.
eventually, I hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, maybe now that justice has been served for Grace, that, you know, she'll crack the door open a little bit and, you know, still be angry as Damon walks inside, just being like, I just want to talk. Just want to talk.
Or not.
Or does
Or
she
the
just hate
opposite.
everyone else more
Yeah.
and locks herself away until freaking chapter 5?
Because I don't think that execution made her feel any better.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, no. What the hell? I'm trying to figure out why a duck ejected itself towards us.
Just got railgunned at us.
Yeah.
It was a flower pot. Oh, because Jean puffed out.
Oh, probably,
That's
yeah.
why. I saw it.
But yeah, actually...
Yeah, the way she was guarding the door. Like, that was like... Of course, it was super sus for us at first when we were playing.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, no.
Yeah.
She's not, like, trying to hide evidence or anything, right? But no, it's because she wanted to keep the room the way it was.
Yeah, it's like,
when
do
he
not
was
touch
alive.
anything. You
And I
leave
was
it
like,
there. And it's just like, no, please.
It was so-
My heart can only take so much of
Because
this.
I was like, you know what? Valid. Because if you died, I would probably do the same thing. I'm like, I don't care if you think I'm sus. Don't touch this shit. Or I
Yeah.
will kill you.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
But how sick would it be if Tozu cleaned it up? Because
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't
my
either, because, you know, Tozu doesn't want you to, you know, get any reprieve. It's just going to be like, nuh-uh.
Nope.
I have to clean it up. I told you.
Yep.
Room service.
All the clothes are off the floor.
Yeah, just goes back to the elevator. And it's just normal room, clean.
Oh my god. That'd be so mean.
I'm trying to think of in other games if rooms stayed unlocked or not. Because you could also just straight up, like, lock the room afterwards because it's not a player anymore.
Oh,
So even though the stuff was there, now we're just, you know, fan theorizing because we know you don't know
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
if it gets
Well,
boarded
some
up,
of
I
the
swear.
stuff is in there.
True.
So, I mean, of course, he could just move it back to her
Exactly.
room,
It's just
but-
on a box on the floor outside. Tozu with a heart on it.
He would.
He would, yeah.
Here's your things.
Oh my god. Oh man, I could not wait for chapter. It's just so good.
It
It's
is.
like,
I need more of it.
I'm so enthralled and so just intrigued by everything going on, and all of the theorizing
There's
of
so
who's
much
doing
theorizing.
what.
As I said, I'm a patient person, but even then, I want to know more. Come on.
Exactly. Because one thing that still bothers me, and I mean, at first I was, accusing this person of potentially being, the culprit behind the case, because there's something that happened that was a bit too convenient. I'm like, it feels wrong in a way, almost impossible that this happened, and it's still, Kai and Damon waking up late on the day of.
Yeah.
Because that announcement is so loud every single morning for both of them to sleep
And
through it.
Goes on for a while.
It
Exactly. And we know
It's not
that,
just like a buzz.
yeah. And you can't actually tamper with the equipment because that's a no-no.
Yeah.
But let's say that if someone's maybe a mastermind behind something and is like, listen, Damon's a bit too curious way too much of the time. You just turn off the thing to make sure that he doesn't wake up on time, because he might mess up the plans going on. We need a good killing. We need this kill to keep going and work as it should. If there's one person that'll walk around and mess it up, it would be Damon. So maybe, just maybe, a certain Kai is actually behind the scenes making things happen. That's just my thought. Because that morning announcement thing still feels a little interesting to me.
I was really scared because Kai's one of my favorites.
I know.
I love him dearly. I've adopted him. But, dude, when... Because, I was like, we have an alibi. We woke up at whatever time. And I'm just like, we did not know where Kai was.
Yeah, it's like
he woke up before we did. He could have been doing anything.
Yeah, technically, that alibi area, we can't answer yes.
I was so
asleep.
scared that he was the killer. I was like, no, not already.
Yeah. But he's safe.
Especially since, the note was to meet at 8:15.
Exactly.
So he did have that time, but who knows? Anybody could have been like, hey, Kai's room, turn it off. Doesn't need to be Kai himself.
Yeah.
My thought behind it, because I think I said this in the end of our chapter 1 thing, was that, is this a story that the developers want to tell? I don't know. But an interesting one is the fact of Kai being an ultimate influencer. Influencers live for numbers, but let's say that the numbers got stagnant and they weren't growing anymore no matter what he tried to do. So he decided to push the line and start a killing game, and that's now, the thing that's going to make him numbers.
In real life, we've had Mr. Beast doing the Squid Game stuff completely against the message of Squid Game itself.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't put it beyond that.
Yeah.
And, could always just say, oh, this is all spectacle, it's special effects. But no, they're actually dying.
Yeah. Because that's what you have to do to really make an impact. Special effects, everyone can see past that. If you make it real, if you make it crazy, then no one can deny that. And, maybe the developers want to tell a story of, the negatives of chasing numbers online, or maybe that's too, on the nose.
Well, you're in-depth theorying right now.
I mean, I think I said the same exact thing before.
You did.
But, that's where, Kai could be, facilitating with, Tozu, but being a part of it because that makes his followers intrigued, like, oh no, he's in there. Just a game theory.
Putting it on the dark web.
A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Oh my god.
I've seen all kinds of theories out there, and that one's not too implausible. I've seen a couple of shockers, but deny the obvious, uphold the inane. That's what speculation is all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some very interesting ones too. There was one, I think, that's what was it? I don't remember in depth because I was just scrolling one day and saw a glimpse of it, but someone was theorizing that Kai was taking the place of his dead twin and trying to fulfill their dreams on something or something like that.
Interesting. There's not even a backbone for that. I was not ready for the twin thing. I was like, wait, where did that come from?
Yeah, that's what I thought too, and I was like, I'm not gonna read that right now. I just kept scrolling.
It's a bit
It's
too
a little
much.
bit too close to the first Danganronpa
For
2, I
real,
think.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
man.
didn't read too much into it, but yeah, I was like, okay, that they're reaching, but
A lot of people will.
I mean, 'cause especially when you have this much time to think about stuff,
Uh-huh.
you can afford to reach, because who knows, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, I've seen some wild out there speculation get proven true before.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just what seems to be tenuous threads, and you're like, oh yeah, sort of makes sense, but nah. And then come like 8 months later, and it's true, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Apollo's dodgeball hit him square in the face, huh?
Yeah. I'm still curious to see just how many connections or not that, like, the writers are going to make to, the obvious ties of, the whole story of, the Garden of Eden and the snake inside the garden, or the serpent inside the Garden of Eden, more appropriately, and then the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, a lot
and
of metaphors.
how many more, like, and if they're going to take any more, like, it's like Aesop, those tales that are all about animals. People are already, like, hyper analyzing, like, 50-page essays of all of those stories
my
to
goodness.
find any two animals that match, to try and find out. I'm curious to see how much influence they will take on those going forward, or maybe even use those to flip it on their head and surprise people with those stories. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I reckon flipping on their head could be plausible. I don't think they're going to go too hard with the biblical stuff, because then it becomes a little bit too predictable.
Yeah.
If you've ever spent any time doing religious class or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, playing with the ideas is always fun.
Yeah.
And they're well-known stories for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Whew, man. Do you have any more little stories aside from injuring yourself behind the scenes? Any other random little tidbits of fun things that happened either to you or witnessing through any of the chats that you can share?
Nothing too fun. I guess, like, because I didn't have the full story of what was going on, I kind of made myself a little bit of a document trying to write down what I knew and how the trial was actually going to play out. Just because, I find that stuff interesting coming from a comprehensive but incomplete perspective.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't know the specifics of the car battery or anything like that. Like, it was mentioned, but I didn't know quite how it worked.
Yeah.
And because Grace was accusing everybody of being the culprit, I couldn't be 100% sure that it was Eva.
Yeah.
I was like 95% sure, but not 100% sure.
Yeah. Because you had so many finger-pointing lines at every person over there.
Yeah.
So many.
Because I think it was like right off the bat that there was the little spat between Grace and Eloise, like immediately, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was more Eloise coming for her, which was
That's true.
valid.
Yeah.
But then after that, she starts pointing fingers, no matter how tenuous it was.
Yeah. Huh.
God, and the whole thing with Diana. That was...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yikes.
But now...
It'll be really interesting to see how the others view her after it. Because, like, they knew she was kind of like that, but because of how hasty she was being. But unfortunately, Diana is just too nice of a person, so
Yeah.
she'll probably get a bit hurt still.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people probably, or a lot of the students will be like, you lost your quote-unquote roommate, your bunk buddy. And, be like, it's a very stressful thing when that happens and all. But I just realized it'll be more interesting to see if, because of the bunk buddy losses, if Grace and Diana try and
Yeah,
bunk
I
together?
was thinking
Are they
about
gonna
that.
try? Is there gonna be a moment where they kind of mend the bridge after the bit of
That's a good
back
point.
and
I didn't
forth
think
that
about
happened in the
that.
trial?
Yeah.
Either that or they
I
stay
could
alone.
see that happening, yeah.
Yeah, because that maybe there'll be a little spat about trying to trade rooms again, but maybe they can mend the bridge a little bit and they can bond, and then there'll be more heartbreak happening in the future when things go wrong.
Yeah, inevitably.
And
Yeah.
it's always inevitable heartbreak.
Or no, just have it be a
What?
tiny
What?
storyline where it's always the people beside Grace that get hurt. That
No!
gets hurt.
Oh,
And,
no!
After like 3
Evan!
chapters, she's like, "Why is it always me? Why is it around me?
Oh
Why is
my
this happening?"
God.
Every time I get
jinx.
close to someone, and this is why I shut myself off. Anytime I get close,
Yeah.
they always just something happens. So leave me
Yeah.
alone. I'm locking myself in my room. Don't get me until I'm needed.
That's me.
It's awful, but just a thought. Just a fun little possibility to think about.
Don't put that evil
I won't
out
put it
into
in
the world.
existence because that means something happening today, and it's the last thing that we want.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's so hard not to get attached.
I know.
I'm already attached to multiple characters. It's not good.
Thankfully, I'm at the point where like I have my favorites that I attach to, but I'm like, you can be ripped with me any second. I've accepted that fact. So,
I'm trying to. I'm really bad at it.
well, it'll still be sad when it happens. Yes. Well, I
It's
probably
more
scream
of a
and
skill.
It is.
yeah,
Skill.
yeah,
For me, it's a skill issue.
Yeah.
exactly. It's more like I'm just treating everyone as being terminal at this point, and I'll be happy when it gets cured.
Jesus Christ.
That way, I know what to expect.
I mean, that's
Just you're setting up yourself for disappointment otherwise. Just,
Yeah.
Exactly. If I'm just here like, you know what? Everyone's going to live on. We're going to survive. It's going to be great.
Wait, how did you get
man.
focused on the
I
flower
don't know.
pot?
The flower pot just kind of adopted the camera at this
What
point.
the heck? Where did Grace go?
Uh-oh. Grace has
Cute, though.
disappeared.
Where'd she go? It is cute.
Look at a little smiley face on
Oh
that
my
thing.
god, it has a face!
Oh, man. Well, I think that's about all we have to really talk about.
Where'd she go?
Talked so much on this, especially about Chapter 1.
Yeah.
So, do you want to let people know where they can find you on social media or any projects that you're working on?
I guess you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Darcy Maguire VA, and I think on Blue Sky it's just Darcy Maguire.
Perfect. We will have those in the description below.
Yes.
And once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day
Yes,
and
thank
being able to
you.
talk with us about your experience in this game. It's been wonderful.
It's all good. I've been happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's been a
It's
blast.
always good to have a chance to talk about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I found her. She's in the back.
I know. If only I could switch to it easily, but I just have to go.
There.
We're close
Oh,
enough.
close
Don't
enough.
forget it's on the. Don't worry about it being on the reindeer. It's close enough to Grace. Grace is right there.
There she is, next to the pigeon.
Grace Mallardson.
Next to the pigeon. There's a pigeon.
If only there was a wolf there.
Oh, Evan!
I'm sorry.
Evan! Too soon.
In another life.
Yeah. The duck AU.